So, with the boom of TCGs growing in the past 2 years or more, there's been more people than ever putting ridiculous amounts of money into these collectibles, regardless of what you're into, right? Whether it's waifus, husbands, pocket monsters, children's card games, Final Fantasies, or even Magic. And with this increase of people, there is obviously an increase of money changing hands, and sometimes this could go up to hundreds or even thousands of dollars at a time for just a few pieces of shiny cardboard. So there's a lot of money to be made and a lot of money to be spent from these transactions. And when you first start collecting, you'll probably start by looking at major websites like TCG Player or maybe even eBay, and you'll think to yourself, there's no way I'm going to pay these insane prices after seeing them for just one or two cards. At some point, you'll come across these Discord groups or Facebook groups where you'll see all these great deals from people that are selling for way cheaper than anywhere else. And you're going to think to yourself, look at all these other idiots that are paying high prices on everything when I could just buy all these rare cards for super cheap on Facebook or Discord. But like anything else, unfortunately, when there's money to be made and there's a lot of money involved, there's always going to be bad people out there that are going to try to take advantage of others and try to scam you for your hard-earned money because they know it's hard for a lot of people to pass up on good deals, especially if you're new to the hobby and you don't know what to look out for when it comes to scams or anything else like that. So, how do you prevent yourself from getting robbed by these hamburglers and them taking you to Pound Town, USA with population of only one, which is going to be you? Here are some tips that I have. So the number one piece of advice I could give to people is do not use friends and family ever. I don't care if you have long walks on the beach with someone, you have candlelit dinners, you've been talking with the seller, sharing memes, pictures of waifus till the sun comes up on Facebook or Discord. You never use friends and family no matter how long you've talked to someone unless you're literally married to the person or something. Because at some point, you're gonna have a bad time and it's not going to end well for you. A lot of people are tempted to use friends and family because either they trust the person, they feel like they trust them, or they just want to save a little bit of money on the transaction. So typically, PayPal charges you like around 3% on the transaction if you don't use friends and family and you use goods and services. And scammers will often try to take advantage of that. They'll tell you to use, let's use Cash App or some other kind of payment to avoid using goods and services. The reasoning behind that is because when you use goods and services, PayPal covers you for like an extra layer of protection where you could file like a chargeback in the case that they don't fulfill their end of the transaction or whatever you received is not what you expected, right? But in the case that if you use friends and family, you wouldn't have that kind of recourse when it comes to it. Of course, this isn't really like 100% where PayPal will always side with you and you'll guarantee to be getting a refund. But as long as you kind of document everything, you'll kind of have that extra layer to protect yourself in case anything goes wrong. On top of that, normally, if a seller is willing to deal with you using goods and services, that means that they've already taken into the idea that the transaction is legitimate and they know that you as a buyer have protection under PayPal for that extra layer to kind of deter them from trying to scam you. On top of that, if you put it into perspective for a bit, even if you buy a car for $1,000 and you pay 3%, that's only $30 in fees that you're paying. And if you buy a car for $200 and you pay 3%, that's $6. If you're already willing to spend that much money to buy cards to begin with, and you're already saving a lot on sales tax by dealing with people directly, isn't paying that small percentage of extra insurance worth it rather than being at a complete loss if someone were to scam you? So the second piece of advice that I have is to do your research on the seller. And what do I mean by that? To be honest, I used to think that if someone had an anime profile picture and doesn't use their real name and real picture on their profile, I used to think, case closed, this guy's a scammer, call the FBI and everyone. But sometimes it might not be as simple as that. So I blurted out the picture and their name and everything, so I'm not putting a specific person on blast. But just as an example, you could have some community members that are having real posts for a long time, have actual profile pictures of real people, and have their families in the pictures even, and they might even have community members that vouch for them from doing previous transactions. But they could still turn out to be scammers. So how do you do your due diligence, right? You look up their post histories, you ask for references from other people that's dealt with them, and you just talk to the person and kind of get a feel of how they are. Do they respond to your messages promptly? Do they answer all your questions and concerns when you have them? Or do they just kind of brush you off like an idiot and find you annoying whenever you want more information or try to get like more pictures or something like that? Again, you kind of get a feel of how these people are, and sometimes you can kind of tell when they're sketchy, but sometimes this isn't foolproof, right? We still have scammers out there that end up bamboozling people no matter, how much someone tries to, vet them or look into their background. And a lot of people lose maybe like thousands of dollars when it comes to this. So another tip when it comes to this would probably be to just stop and think before you buy anything. Don't rush through the transaction. Just think about it to yourself. If it's too good to be true, then it probably is. If someone doesn't respond to you before you even pay money to them, they dodge a lot of questions, they kind of just ghost you, it's probably a good warning sign that something is wrong. And then we kind of circle back to the first tip, which was PayPal goods and services, right? Make sure to document everything and save all your exchanges with the seller and interactions like chat logs or whatever details of like pictures that they might have shown you about the cards. And so that way, if the deal goes down and there's some problem or issue, you have a way of filing a dispute later on, and you already have all the evidence that you need to protect yourself. So my third tip is going to be to always ask for pictures or videos of the cards, especially if you're looking to buy singles. Because I know everyone kind of claims to have like Nokias, Motorola Razrs to take pictures with, or it looks like they took a picture of a Fisher Price camera. But if you're looking to buy cards and you want them mint, near mint with no damage, make sure to get multiple pictures or even multiple videos, or else you're going to have a bad time. I'll also kind of preface this by saying that not everyone is out there to mislead you on purpose. And some people just have bad eyesight, or some just have dementia or something, I don't know. And they can't tell the difference between something that's near mint or something that's been run through a washer and dryer. The reasoning behind why you want to ask for multiple pictures and at least like a video showing the card in multiple angles, which I'll show you like this, is because when you look at all these cards listed as near mint, sometimes they just have like one picture showing the card in like a top loader from like the best angle where the card looks perfect like this, right? And then even, I don't even know why it's acceptable, but some people even take pictures of their cards in top loaders and sleeves where you can't even see the actual card itself. And because the top loaders are most of the time scratched up anyways. And if you're the type of person that can't stand having dents, scratches, dings on your card, you're going to have a bad time. And you're going to end up going back and forth with these sellers who sometimes might not even want to deal with you and refund you. And they're just going to say that, oh, they showed you all the pictures ahead of time and you accepted it, so what's the problem? It's just going to be a headache. So what you're going to want is... So an example of this would be, the card looked perfect from afar, right? But then when you look kind of closer, oh, there's scratches on the foil. Of course, this is like through like a sleeve and a one touch, but you're going to see, oh, okay, there's like a dent in the corner, which you wouldn't see if you just looked at from afar. There's like a ding in the back here, since it's inside the case. I think it's like right here or something like that. There's like a dent in the card. You're not going to see it inside the case, but from the pictures they show you, you're like, oh, okay, the card looks perfect. It looks mint. And then you're going to deal with all these headaches and issues. So what you're going to do is just ask for, multiple pictures. You're going to want pictures of all four corners, and then all four corners of the back, and then you're going to have to want like some kind of video where they're kind of showing it to you in different angles, not just like the perfect angle where there's no issues. You're going to want them to show it to you in different angles, so that way you know if there's going to be scratches or dings that won't show up under certain lightings. And what I kind of find for me from experience is that if someone has a mint card that they're going to sell, they're going to let you know that the card is mint and it's perfect and there's no issues with it at all, and they won't have any issues showing you multiple pictures of the cards. If they don't, then most of the time you're going to know that you're going to see people say, oh, I'm just selling the card as is, judge from the picture yourself. So most of the time that means that they're probably hiding some kind of damage with the card. And if they're unwilling to take videos and pictures for you, or like from different angles, maybe some people are lazy, I don't know. But if you want like near mint cards and you're not going to be able to stand any kind of scratches or dings, just be careful. You probably don't want to deal with it if they, refuse to give you any kind of pictures or videos like this. So the last and final tip that I have, which is the most important one, if you survive all this bullshit from step 1 to 3 and you finally wait like 84 years to get your package with your card in it, and you've asked for all the pictures, try to vet the seller, you asked for videos, you got their social security number, you got their address, you got their astrology sign, whatever else, right? Make sure you record yourself opening these packages. I can't stress this enough. So the reason why you want to record yourself opening these packages is because there's 3 common scenarios you can encounter. The first scenario is that, great, the seller was honest, everything is perfect, it worked out the way you wanted it to work out, there's no damage to the card, it's exactly how you want it, it's mint, it's perfect, and you can't ask for a better transaction, right? But the second scenario is probably the one that I find the most common that I run into. And I kind of ran into this multiple times no matter what platform I use, whether it's on Facebook, Discord, TCG Player, or anywhere else I buy a card and I expect near mint, right? I ran into so many times where the thing you'll hear the most is from the seller is, oh, I double checked before I sent out the card. I'm sending it out today, smiley face. The card is perfect and it's mint. You're going to love it. And then when I finally open the package, I find all these dents, scratches that I didn't see in the pictures, and whitened edges, all these other issues, right? So you have to record your openings. And it's not to say that everyone is out there to get you. It's out of like some malicious intent and they're out to like trick you on purpose. Some sellers might not actually know that the damage is on the card, but I don't think anyone wants to pay money for these cards, especially if you're spending a lot of money, and then end up having to deal with going back and forth with like he says, she said thing, or a situation where the seller might tell you that you're the one that damaged the card when you opened it, and they sent it out. It was mint when they sent it out. Again, they might not know, but at least if you record it, you're going to have proof that, okay, you're not the one that damaged it. And then when you open the package, you're showing that, okay, they'll see that they packaged it that way, and then the damage was already there to begin with. And this way you'll have the choice of if you want to get a partial refund if you want to keep the card and you're okay with like just a small damage, or if the card is like super dinged up and you just want to refund it, you'll be able to do that. And then the third scenario, which is the worst case scenario that I've never really ran into, would be if you received the package and it was completely empty and it's worthless. And if you didn't record yourself opening it, then you would have no proof at all and you'll just be out of luck. And then they'll be the one calling you a scammer instead, since you have no proof. Or if they just don't send you the product, period, and they give you like fake tracking numbers, which again goes back to make sure you have, all the proof and information gathered, so that way if anything happens, you're protected. So these are really the main things on how to protect yourself when dealing with buying cards directly from people. And just to kind of recap on how not to become a resident of Pound Town, USA, it's, again, these 4 things, right? Number 1, always make sure to use PayPal goods and services and keep records of all your interactions with the seller. Number 2, do your research on the seller as much as possible. Number 3, ask for pictures for at least a minimum of all 4 corners, both the front and the back, and at least 1 video in different lighting. Don't ask for too many. People might find you annoying. And number 4, and the last thing and most important thing, is to record yourself opening these packages. So if anything were to go wrong, you'd have some kind of record and proof that you're not the one that did the damage or whatever it is. So if you're gonna, spend your hard-earned money to buy something, make sure you do your due diligence so you're not on the receiving end of someone trying to take advantage of you for every dollar that you have. I hope this video helps. Have a great day.